Hi everyone, I'm Kathleen. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make a delicious Indian meal featuring lemon lentil dal, cashew raisin rice, and spicy green beans. And all these recipes have been adapted by Ishmael Merchant, and I have drastically reduced the oil, but I am going to use a little oil today, but feel free to omit it if you want. So the first thing we're going to do is make this amazing cashew raisin rice. So I'm going to start by using a teaspoon of avocado oil. And you could do none, if that's all right. And then we're going to add in 1 chopped sweet onion. And we're gonna let that saute here for a few minutes. Let me just get the heat turned up. Now we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add in the rice. So you can use basmati rice or you can use jasmine rice. You just wanna make sure you rinse it a couple times, otherwise it gets too sticky in the pot. So I'm gonna add 1 1/2 cups rinsed rice. And then we're gonna start with 2 cups water. We might possibly need more. Get all of this out. Okay. And bump up the heat. Okay. And now we're gonna add the fun stuff. So we're gonna add in a couple handfuls of raw cashews. So these are from Kirkland Costco. I show them a lot. They are organic. Okay, so it's better if you use raw than say roasted, toasted. And then same thing with some raisins. I buy these organic raisins from Costco also. Sun-made, good old Sun-made, been around forever since I was a kid. Okay, that'll give it some sweet. And then we're gonna add in a cinnamon stick, which is very fun. I get these cinnamon sticks also from Costco. And you could always break it in half if needed. You can just set it in. Then we're going to do 2 bay leaves and 2 little cloves. They give it such a great flavor. Now salt's up to you, salt or no salt. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to give it a little stir. It's so delicious. You could try doing this in a rice cooker also. I have, and it's good. It's just a little bit better on the stove. And I have to say, it's a little better with some oil. It calls for a lot more oil than I put in. So we're gonna put the lid on and let that simmer. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the awesome lemon lentil dal. Let me grab my pot. And we are going to repeat a few steps here. Once you make this recipe once, it'll be a lot easier to do. So you can saute with a little water or a little oil, it's up to you. 1 full chopped sweet onion. Lots of chopped onion. All right. And in our pot, we're gonna add 2 cloves of garlic. So I've already peeled the cloves, just if this is new for you at all. These are really nice fat cloves here. And we're gonna do them together. Watch your eyes, because sometimes it does juice out. These are so fat. And then oops, we'll put that back in. Then it's a little easier to scrape. And I'm gonna just redo that little piece. There we go. I'll show you, then you can just take out the skin. If you missed a chunk like I did, we'll just repress. All right, we won't get as much, but we'll get a little bit more. There we go. It's like giving birth. There you go, get a little more out of there. Okay, and one more thing. We're gonna add a tablespoon of chopped fresh, minced really, ginger. Okay, so I peeled it, chopped it very small, and now we are gonna give that a little stir here. Okay, so you wanna saute your onions, garlic, and ginger for about 5 minutes. And again, you can add a little oil if you want, like a teaspoon of avocado or olive oil. And now we're gonna add the red lentils. And I have rinsed these, so I highly recommend rinsing them. And this is 2 cups of rinsed red lentils. And then we're gonna add our vegetable broth. So I am using Trader Joe's organic veggie broth, and they actually don't use any oil in this broth, and it's got a great flavor. So we're gonna use 4 cups, which is the whole box, to the 2 cups of red lentils. And you may need a little water later. We're gonna see how it does, because you want the lentils, when they're cooked, to be very, very mushy, like falling apart mushy. Okay? So be sure you do a taste test first. Nobody likes crunchy lentils. And then we're gonna add some of these same amazing spices. I'm gonna add another cinnamon stick, and 2 cloves, 2 bay leaves, and as I like to say, the star of the show is the lemon. So this lemon's actually from our lemon tree. When you juice your lemon, make sure you scrub it really good, because then when you go to juice it, like, the dirt doesn't come into the lemon. I know that sounds basic, but I wasn't doing that. So we're gonna actually put both the rinds in it after you juice it, and all the fresh lemon juice. Okay. And just a normal size lemon. You don't need a gigantic lemon, because you can throw the flavor off if you use too much lemon juice, so just a small to medium lemon. All right, I know it looks interesting. It looks like a witch's stew, some formula with these big chunks of lemon in it. All right, so we are gonna keep an eye on this, because you don't want it bubbling up, which can happen easily when you put the lid on and simmer it. So this is gonna simmer about 30 minutes, and I'm gonna write all this out in the comments. The rice, about 20 minutes. Okay, now we're gonna make the delicious spicy green beans, and we use these French green beans, which my husband swears by. This is from Hippie Organics at Costco. This is a 2-pound bag, and we are gonna use a pound today. And you wanna rinse them real good. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of oil. You can omit it, you can just do water if you are oil free. I am gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of avocado oil. And we're gonna saute some cumin seeds and mustard seeds. And we did get these from an Indian market. Mustard seeds you should be able to find at the regular grocery store in the spice rack. Cumin seeds are a little harder to find, so you could use cumin powder instead. So we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of each. And again, I'll write this all out. And we're gonna give those a little, okay, a little bit of sauteing, and we are gonna move on. Then we're gonna add in our green beans. And we're gonna add in a little bit of salt, which of course is optional also. I'm gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you wanna keep an eye on them. You cook them around 7 minutes so you don't overcook them. And then we're gonna add a couple more things to give them even more flavor. So after about 7 minutes, make sure they're tender. Then you're gonna add in, which I've already done some, is some ground mustard and some turmeric. This kind of acts like a little bit of a powder, soaking up some of the oil and taking on even more amazing Indian flavors. Now I want you to take a quick peek at the dal here. So this was on simmer for 30 minutes. You definitely want to keep checking it because the lentils get stuck in the little eyes of the lemon. You want to dump that out so they do get cooked. Now at about 30 minutes, they weren't really disintegrating yet. So we added in 1/2 cup of water. You can start with 1/2 cup and then cook it for 10 more minutes. Lentils take a while, but you do want these lentils for the dal to be really mushy actually. So then when you turn the stove off, let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes and even more of that water will absorb, okay? But start with a little less water instead of doing a whole cup of water. So we're gonna go ahead and dish up this delicious meal. We've got our rice, which turned out great. That's actually my favorite part of this meal is this cashew raisin, really cinnamon rice. The cinnamon stick and bay leaves can be removed. And then the dal. So I'm just gonna give it a little stir so you can see. You can also remove the bay leaf and the cinnamon stick. And as you can see, this makes a lot. Definitely good for 2 to 3 days. You could always freeze the dal if needed. Okay, and then we're gonna add in these fun, spicy French green beans. I'm just gonna toss them on there. And you can always remake the beans again tomorrow and reheat the rice and the dal. So that's it. This delicious Indian meal, lemon lentil dals, cashew raisin rice, spicy green beans. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe. And thank you always for saving animals with your food choices. Have a great week.